Welcome to week 10 of the Moda Sampler Block Shuffle. This week we are doing block number 28 by Kate Spain, block number 29 by French General, and block number 30 by Blackbird Designs. So stay with me and we will begin our last 3-piece blocks. What we'll be working on after this is our flying geese for the borders, and I'm doing a zigzag border, so if you want to do a zigzag border along with me, you're welcome to, and the layout of our quilt. But first, let's get our blocks put together.
You can look at hardware.
You can see that I've made all my half square triangles, and what I've done is press them to the darker side, and then I did go through and square all of them up. On this block, I really think that's going to be important. So I'm going to start putting them together. This is how we're going to put this block together. We're going to take it down to a basic 4 patch. So I'm going to attach this to this and then attach these 3 pieces together. I'm going to do that all around, get it to 4 pieces. Then once I get each block to 4 pieces, then I'll connect these two, and then bring the 2 together to give me the square that we're looking for. So on this one, again, just what you're going to do is take your large half square triangle, sew your 2 mini triangles together, press them, and then add it to this, then press those, then add these together. And when I get the block all sewn together, I'll show you how I ended up pressing this center. I attached the 2 small half square triangles to the 1 large one, and I pressed the seams towards the larger half square triangles, and then I'm gonna set it down like that. Does that look right? Yep. And I'm gonna attach these 2, and then I am gonna press it out towards the strip. Then once I've done that, then I'll put my 2 blocks together, and these 2 blocks together, and then I'll put all 4, and that block will be done. This is block number 28 by Kate Spain, and in the beginning I told you that I thought there was possibly a mistake in the pattern, and there is. For the background, you need 4 2-inch squares in order to put the block together properly. So here's the pattern, and here are my 2 blocks. And I want to show you how I ended up pressing these. They pressed so that we ended up with that little circle in the middle. So I pressed to the most solid of the fabric, so the biggest open patch that I could every time. And here they are. This is block number 29, and this one's designed by French General. And there are really a couple of different ways that you could put this block together. You could put the center pinwheel together and then do partial seams, or you could do, like on this one, because these 2 fabrics are the same, you could actually do this as a flying geese and then attach it. But how I'm going to do this one is I have split it into 4 blocks, so we're dealing with a 4 patch. And I'm going to sew these units first, half square triangles, and then put them together, then attach them to this piece. So here are my pieces laid out. I've already drawn my lines from point to point. I'm going to sew from here to here, Then I'm gonna trim on this side, and this side will be my block. I'm gonna get all of the diagonal seams sewn. I'm gonna get them pressed open and probably these two pieces sewn together, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. This is really a pretty simple block. Just be aware that there's many different ways that you could put it together. I am going to do it though how the pattern did show it. All right, here we go. This is block number 29, which is designed by French General. And I wanted to go over with you how I press this because I press them in two different directions, press this one different than this one. And I ended up having to have to take this one apart so that I got it back down to two pieces and then put it, well, actually I had to get it down to 4 pieces and put it back together again. So let me show you what ended up happening. So here's my 2 half square triangles. I put those together first. Then I added my half square triangles to my outer unit. Now on this block, I could have done these as flying geese and then I wouldn't have had that seam. On this block, obviously because of the fact of well, I could have done flying geese on this one too, but the directions weren't written that way. So this is how I did it. So I sewed the 2 half square triangles, then added the rectangle. Then at first, I added the rectangle. Then I pressed it towards the rectangle because remember, we always try to press towards the most open or the piece that has the least amount of seams. So I did that. Then I went to join these 2 pieces together, okay? I did that, and originally I had pressed this towards the triangle. I had pressed it this way, and what ended up happening is I had a huge amount of bulk here. It did not lay flat. I had too big of a bump when I went through it, and what ended up happening is it just became distorted and it didn't lay flat. So when you go to sew your 2 together, because remember we take it down to a 4 patch on this one, you're gonna wanna press towards this way. So you're gonna wanna lay that flying geese flat. Then when I came to put the 2 pieces together, I joined them, and I actually did at first try to press the seam one way or the other, and quite honestly, there just was way too much bulk. I needed to get rid of the bulk and I needed to flatten it out. So now this is what I ended up with, and I think it really looks pretty good. I'm okay with it the way it is. So I've got my points. I didn't lose any points, so I'm really good. So now it's time to go on to our next block. Our last block is block number 30. And this again is an applique piece. And I've gone ahead and I have traced out my pieces and I've put them on a block. These are my 2 blocks. And the next thing I need to do is to stitch all around. Just like the last time, I used Steam Seam 2. I traced the pattern onto the Steam Seam 2. And then I placed it on the wrong side of my fabric. I cut it out. And then I used a straight pin to score the paper. I scored the piece of paper off of it. Then I attached it to the right side of the fabric and I pressed it. You have a few different choices of what you can do. You can do needle turn applique, and for that you would have had to have cut this a little bit larger so that you could turn your seams under as you stitched it down. You can do straight stitch applique, which I showed you on another block earlier. You can do buttonhole applique, or you can do a zigzag stitch all the way around. I'm going to do a zigzag today. So I have switched out my presser foot. I'm now using number 3. And the reason why I'm using this is because it's got a nice big open toe so that I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to first practice the zigzag on just a scrap piece of material that I've got here. Here is block number 30 completely done. You can see on this one I zigzagged all around, and on this one I just did a straight stitch, and I have to be honest with you, I really like just the simple straight stitch a whole lot better than I do the zigzag, but we're gonna leave it just like this. So we are officially done with the 30 blocks. Next thing we're gonna do is start setting our quilt together. We're at the end of week 10 of piecing our blocks together for the Moda Sampler Block Shuffle, and I wanted to show you what the blocks ended up looking like. So block number 28 is designed by Kate Spain. And in this block, I did find a slight error, and I mentioned it earlier in the video, but I wanted to go over it with you again. For the background fabrics, you can see I've got it crossed off, and there's a written in pink. You're gonna wanna cut 4 2-inch squares of the background fabric. The pattern says to cut 2, and you need 4 in order to put it together. But anyhow, this is the Kate Spain. Here's one of my blocks. Here is my other block. And here they are together. Block number 29 is designed by French General. And here is block 1. Now you'll notice on block 1 I only used 2 colors. I did not use 3. The pattern has has 3 colors in it, but I wanted to see what it looked like with 2. So there's my 2 block. And here is my 3 block. And I really like the 3 block. Here they are, or 3 color. Here are the 2 of them together. Now, block number 30 is designed by Blackbird Designs. Here is my first block. Now, in this block, I did a zigzag all the way around. It's okay. I'm not taking it out. I wanted to show you what the zigzag looked like, because that is another way to finish off your applique blocks. I'm just not a fan of it. I'd rather see a straight stitch or buttonhole stitch or needle turn, but that's what the zigzag looks like. Possibly if I put my zigzag closer, I would have liked it a little bit more, but that's what it is. And here is my other block. Now this one I did top stitch, and I'm very happy with this one. And here are the 2 of them together. So what's up on the schedule for next week? Next week, I'm going to show you how I am laying out my quilt. So remember, I've got 2 quilts going. I'm going to lay one out exactly how Moda has theirs done, and then I'm going to lay one out my way. They are on point, so that'll be great because it'll teach you how to do your quilt on point. And I'm going to show you how to get these blocks all straightened out in the event that your blocks are all different sizes. I'm going to give you a couple little hints or tips to help you through that. So make sure you come back next week, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye. I'm really hoping that you stuck around all the way to the end of that video so that you could see all of my blocks. So there they are. My sister and my mother are coming over tomorrow, so my sister will arrange all the blocks for me, and I can't wait to see how she does it, and then I'll put it all together. But I promised you a glimpse of all of the blocks, so there they are. This is only one of the 2 quilts, So I got one of them up on the design board, and I'll finish this one probably before putting the second one up on the design board. So there we go. See you next week so you can see how I'm going to lay this out and how I deal with blocks that aren't the perfect size or not perfectly square. Thanks for watching. Bye.